all of which is to say that Bill Hader, an 8 years veteran of Saturday Night Live, will be leaving that NBC late-night franchise when its season ends Saturday. It was a hard decision, but it has to happen at some point, Mr. Hader said in an interview. It got to a point where I said, maybe it's just time to go. Quote, Mr. Hader, 34, joined SNL as a featured performer in the fall of 2005 and was promoted to a full cast member the following year. He quickly became known for his offbeat celebrity impersonations as well as portrayals of original characters like Stefan, a breathless aficionado of obscure New York nightclubs, and Vinny Vedexi, an Italian talk show host. Last year, Mr. Hader, who has appeared in Superbad, Tropic Thunder and Men in Black 3, among other films, became the rare Saturday Night Live cast member to be nominated for an Emmy for supporting actor in a comedy series. Lorne Michaels, executive producer of Saturday Night Live, recalled the first time he saw Mr. Hader perform at a comedy show in Los Angeles, where he was reminded of SNL stars like Dan Aykroyd. In terms of intelligence and talent, he was in that same tradition, Mr. Michaels said in a telephone interview. He was so completely committed to the art of it and enough a student of it that there's something strikingly original. He didn't explode into the air, but gradually he found his voice, and that became a huge thing. While any loss at Saturday Night Live is bittersweet for the show, Mr. Hader's departure could be part of a larger exodus of established talent from the SNL roster. Seth Meyers, a head writer of Saturday Night Live and the anchor of its Weekend Update, will depart next year to replace Jimmy Fallon in NBC's Late Night when Mr. Fallon takes over The Tonight Show in February. Fred Armisen, who has been with Saturday Night Live since 2002, could also be in question, as he focuses on outside projects like Portlandia, his life comedy with Carrie Brownstein. That show is also produced by Mr. Michaels, as Late Night is and The Tonight Show will be. Jason Sudeikis is something of a perennial uncertainty. Last summer he indicated he was looking to explore options beyond SNL but ultimately returned. Asked if Mr. Armisen and Mr. Sudeikis had made up their minds, Mr. Michaels said, I don't think so. I think they are making their decisions and we'll know soon enough. Mr. Michaels added, I've said what I wanted to say to both. You never keep anybody there who doesn't want to be there, and there is a right time to leave, but it's more about where they are in their lives. Mr. Armisen declined to comment for this article. A press representative for Mr. Sudeikis declined a request for comment. Mr. Hader's contract at Saturday Night Live expired in spring 2012, but he was persuaded to stay on for an additional season. In February, he told Mr. Michaels that he was ready to move on. He said, I heard stories that you get very emotional in those conversations, he added, and I've had other people tell me, oh, I cried. I didn't, but I did think I was about to faint. Mr. Hader said his decision was motivated partly by seeing friends like Andy Samberg and Kristen Wiig leave last season, and partly by a desire to move his family to Los Angeles. His wife, Maggie Carey, is getting busier with her filmmaking career, which includes the forthcoming comedy The To-Do List, which she wrote and directed, and in which Mr. Hader appears. Meanwhile, Mr. Hader said he had worked on 3 live-action features and 4 animated films during the current season of SNL alone. Whoever remains with Saturday Night Live, Mr. Hader said it would be in good hands, as newer cast members like Taran Killam, Vanessa Bayer and Kate McKinnon come into their own. There's a new sensibility happening, Mr. Hader said, and if it isn't totally apparent in the show yet, I see it on Wednesdays at the table reads. At those sessions this year, Mr. Hader said, I found myself looking up and watching the new people do their sketches. I like watching Kate McKinnon do something and there's a joy in seeing a new move from somebody and going, oh, she can do that. Quote, specific plans for his final episode have not yet been worked out, but he and Mr. Michaels said